Hello, how's everybody doing? Today I'll be playing Geist and I'll be showing you why I think Geist is a very well positioned runner in the current meta. Geist solves a lot of problems that the other criminals now currently face, namely lousy breaker suite and card draw. So this is why I think Geist is potentially a very strong runner that is actually capable of being on the level of Leela or maybe even Andromeda. In this deck, I'm going to go a bit off the wall. I'm going to play New Angela City Hall with Fall Guy. Fall Guy is a natural inclusion in Guy's decks, and New Angela City Hall is the perfect target for Fall Guy because New Angela City Hall is trash when you steal an agenda. Fall Guy prevents that. And you can combo this with Account Siphon, which is basically the strongest criminal card, for maximum effect. You save 2 clicks on each Siphon by clearing the tags, and you do want to clear tags because this deck is going to rely on run-based economy. That is right, you heard me correct. I'm playing Desperado and Security Testing because it is the criminal bread and butter economy engine. It's way better than playing Forger. Yes. And of course, to achieve R&D dig, I'm going to play the 1 copy of Medium. This is pretty powerful and is actually doable in Geist because you don't run into memory issues. Once you have 2 link up, your breakers take 0 memory, your Zoo Keymaster takes 0 memory. So basically, all you need to worry about is Corroder, Mimic, and Data Sucker and Multi-Threader, which I'm using. It leaves more than enough memory for medium, and that's how I'm going to play it. I'm playing up against Sync today, so I need to be extra cautious about floating tags from Account Siphon. I know he's going to have some tag punishment, and I want to avoid that. Yes, so I would really like to see my New Angela City Hall this game. Now here I play the Fall Guy for 2 credits because I'm on 0 credits after installing the Earthrise Hotel. Fall Guy is meant to be reserved for New Angela City Hall, but in Guys it doubles up as mini green level clearance, which is always very nice. So this is another big reason why I play this in Guys as opposed to Andromeda. The extra card drop from Fall Guy really helps it out and it kind of allows you to substitute Sure Gambles for Fall Guys. Alright, in the meantime, he does get a second remote out, and this time I'm going to check it, firstly because I have Desperado, and secondly because he might assume that I'm playing passively by not checking his remotes, and thankfully I find the Astro script here. Of course, I have to anticipate he probably has a mid-seasons ready to go, and I might have to float text for the rest of the game. So in that case, I'm going to just play the cheap program and get some credits. I'm safe from mid-seasons, he didn't play it, so game goes on. Here I'm going to install more of the cloud breakers so that the moment I draw into a siphon, I'll go straight to his HQ. Now siphoning is definitely not going to be that equitable this game simply because it costs 3 credits to remove a tag instead of 2. That's not good. That is something I have to live with. And I draw into a drive-by this turn, so this is perfect. I anticipate that he has a Sense City Grid in the remote, which I'll trash for free. Turns out it's a public support, almost just as good. It saves me 4 credits and a click of running, and potentially running into some very dangerous ice. So I'm very happy to drive that public support by. In the meantime, it installs a new remote, reinstalls something in the remote and plays a Jackson Howard. I find a Dirty Laundry at this point. There's something I want to use, so I'm going to run the remote with Dirty Laundry, and I see Astro Script. This is very iffy. This Astro Script has been sitting on the table for more than a turn. He wasn't expecting me to run it. Yeah, so this is really to his detriment. I guess to his credit, it really isn't an expected move on my part. But that being said, you should score your Astro Scripts as soon as you can. You really don't want to leave them on the table, especially since he has this many credits. Now, again, I'm assuming this is a Sense City Grid, so I drive it by. Turns out it's a quantum predictive model. You have to assume that one of the eyes on the remote is a Data Raven. So I'm just going to let that pass. If he scores the QPM, short for quantum predictive model, as he does here, it's to his detriment because he wastes 3 clicks and 3 credits to score an agenda. 1 point agenda. You don't want to do that. That's a waste of time. That gives you no benefit on top of that. So in the meantime, I'm just going to set up slowly. I finally find my money engine in the form of security testing, so now I can actually begin running his centrals. There are 2 things I need to start running his centrals, either security testing or account siphon. Now that I finally found one of them, I can start running on his centrals. I'll start with R&D. I'll run R&D here, security test it, and let's see if he resists this piece of ice. It's a Gutenberg. I am short of two strength. Shiv is 3 strength, and I have 1 sucker counter. That's not enough. I have to eat the trace, but that's fine. I'll clear the tag later, I guess. I do still come out on top because I get 1 extra sucker counter, and I draw into an account siphon. So this is something I'll be using pretty soon. But do take note that he has 2 eyes on HQ. That's something to worry about. In the meantime, he gets a public support going. So it really does leave me wondering. He is spending influence on public support. Why could this be? Very interesting. And why is he playing it in sync? Public support doesn't exactly work very well in sync. So this is something I'm not really getting. But in the meantime, I'm just going to continue solidifying my econ engine. I run into an Archangel on archives. So this is really awful. I have 5 strength worth of breakers, of sentry breaking. I could pump it up to 6 strength. Sorry, code gate breaking, I have 5 strength. 3 strength from crowbar, 2 strength from data sucker. I could get 1 more strength, but that means I'll have to trash the multi-threader because I only have 5 memory and I don't have my second link up yet. So this is very painful. I don't really want to trash the multi-threader because it's the only copy in my deck, I believe. So basically my only option here is to let him trace. And Archangel being at base trace of 6, that is very painful. I decided to do it in the end because Archangel says return an installed card to the runner's hand. So I'm kind of okay with it. Actually, a smart thing for him to do right here is to bump the trace out of my reach and then return the Desperado to my hand, forcing me to trash a card, a program as well. I think that would have been a very strong play. Instead, he leaves the trace for me to beat and I get my security testing credits. So I am behind because I invested lots of credits to avoid the Archangel. But that's fine. Life goes on. Now you see that the multi-threader is sitting on my table doing absolutely nothing. And that's right, this is a huge problem. I'm not actually using my multi-threader credits, it's not doing any work, and it's hogging up memory that should be used for cloud breakers. This is a big downside to multi-threader in this sort of deck. I do have static breakers in Zoo, Corroder, and Mimic, but only Corroder's out, and he's not playing any barriers just yet. So that's a problem. That's a huge problem, definitely. And is causing a lot of trouble for me. Well, not much I can do about that, but I think this definitely is a gameplay mistake. I shouldn't install multi-threader until I'm at the point where I have enough static breakers, static being breakers that do not trash themselves, to warrant using the multi-threader. So yeah, that's something good to know now that I'm watching this in retrospect. Now I have to contest his remote because any card could be an Astro script, and I'm very worried about Astro scripts. Even though I have 2 of them in my score area, the moment he scores 1, I'm in a lot of trouble. Here we see me steal a quantum predictive model, curses. Well, this is exactly what I do not want to happen. Me doing the work for him, stealing or rather letting him score a QPM on his behalf, saving him 3 clicks and 3 credits for the agenda point. Very bad. I'm still ahead of him in terms of agenda points, but this is definitely not acceptable. Okay, and he installs double advances. This looks very dicey. It could be an ambush. It definitely looks like an ambush because it seems like I should be able to get through his remote regardless of what he packs because I have 2 data sucker counters and a clone chip. So I'm just going to play a siphon here. Hopefully I can bankrupt him enough to deter him from scoring whatever's in that remote. Except that he reses an archer and sacks 1 of his agendas. Curses. This is the worst. Now I know why he's playing public support and I should have anticipated this. Yeah, if he's playing public support, he's probably playing archer as well. Same with domestic sleepers. Oh man, this is pretty bad. I can't actually beat the archer. I don't have enough cloud breakers out to warrant that, so the only thing I can do now is to allow the archer to fire, and I lose my corroder and my multi-threader, which did absolutely nothing this game. In the meantime, he scores an overscored build. I thought that was a global food initiative. Build, well, it's more or less the same thing. He gets 3 agenda points. If I stole it, I would have only gotten 2 agenda points. Most likely, the ice on the remote was an archer as well, which will explain why he was so confident that I wasn't going to run it and steal it, hence he was able to advance it twice. So now he's on 5 agenda points. He was supposed to be on 6, but he lost 1 to the archer. But I'm still very far behind at this point, pretty obviously, because that overscored build has given him a huge boost. He's now on match point. any installed card in a remote could be game. It could be a game-winning build or Astro. So I need to make action right now. Make action. That's very poor English. I need to take action right now, and take action I do with Account Siphon. Screw the tags. I'm going full on tag me this game. The New Angeles City Hall, the one copy in my deck did not turn up. It's in the bottom third, so screw it. I'm just going to go in. I'm going to siphon him down to 0. This gives me enough credits to work with for the rest of the game. I'm going to install the medium here and begin locking down R&D. With 0 credits, he cannot res anything more expensive than a pop-up window, and since I'm floating tags, Gutenberg is useless. This is why I'm not a big fan of Gutenberg as an ice, even in tag-based decks. He has got a global food initiative, bringing me to match point. Very much needed. Again, I'm not a fan of Gutenberg because when the runner decides to go tag me, Gutenberg is porous. Entirely porous, not taxing at all. Same with Data Raven. In the meantime, he closes my accounts. I anticipated this, knowing that he's not running Scorched Earth or Traffic Accident given his influence spread. I mean, both. He's okay. Traffic Accident is fine. I'm not worried about Scorched Earth at all. So, knowing that the worst tag punishment he could pack is Quantum Predictive Model and Close Accounts. In the meantime, I continue running his deck, and I see even more tag punishment, all of which is rendered useless right now. The news team is useless, and I do hit a Quantum Predictive Model, which brings my opponent to 6 points. So we are tied. I find a public support. I'm trashing it so that I can dig his R&D deeper. Anyway, I'm not going to keep this money for long, and I finally find an Astro Script on my third click to win the game. So this game looked very bad for me. I got hit by an archer that I wasn't prepared for, and he actually managed to score a public support and a Quantum Predictive Model against me. In fact, I helped him score 2 predictive models, yet I was still able to edge him out to win the game. Why was that? Because when I decided to go tag me, he had insufficient tag punishment to close out the game. This is why Butcher Shop is so powerful and is so popular, because Scorched Earth and Traffic Accident basically says, end the game, I win. You can't really do that with any other form of tag punishment. Close Accounts didn't slow me down at all. In fact, he wasn't able to stop me from medium digging. With the amount of defense on R&D he had, money was irrelevant, and Desperado allowed me to recover credits to trash his assets. All seeing I would also have been irrelevant. I wasn't relying on my resources to win, I was relying on that one copy of medium, which did all the work. R&D defense was very weak, and Siphon combined with R&D digging is still a legitimate threat that tag-based decks have to deal with, especially medium. Some notable stats for the game. Desperado net earned 11 credits this game, minus the 3 install costs. That's a net gain of 8 credits. It's a very big money card. Make no mistake, it's still the best console for criminals, and in fact it's one of the best, if not the best console that exists right now. Even though we are so far away from the core set, Desperado is still amazing. Guys drew 5 cards throughout the entire game. Compared to Andromeda's Burst 4 draw at the start of the game, Andromeda might seem better, and it would have been this game, except that in most other games I would actually have managed to use or rather burn through my Cloud Breakers quicker. I would be playing more offensively, siphoning more aggressively, and security testing much earlier. I wasn't able to do so this game, and one of the big reasons is because I was constantly fearing Data Raven and Gutenberg. 2 eyes that you know that Sync will be playing. When you see the idea across the table, you have to be expecting some sort of drip tag. And those are very high strength sentries that I could never manage to deal with for the most part up to the mid game. Because of that, I wasn't running very aggressively, I wasn't sacking my Cloud Breakers, and as such, I didn't get many guys draws. So this is the exception rather than the norm. I think guys, the draw power of guys is too strong to pass up, even against Andromeda's strong ability and Leela's very, very game-changing ability as well. I think another big problem is that I'm only running 1 link card in this entire deck, a single copy of Access to Global Sec. That's not enough. I had lots of memory issues this game, and that is something I'll rectify in the next iteration of this deck. Thanks for watching, happy net running, goodbye.